Today's connecting theme are plus-sized protagonists. There's nothing wrong with that. I can get into a girl with a little wiggle in her walk, and I respect a gal who can clean her plate. Let's get into the reviews before I say anything that'll get me into trouble. This is M.L. Miller Fright's Best in Horror Countdown 2022 through 2023. Counting down the best in horror within the window of October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023.
Number 29.
PIGGY, aka CERDITA, was released on October 14th, 2022, and it's streaming on Hulu from Magnolia Pictures. It's directed and written by Carlota Pereda. PIGGY is a unique thriller from Spain with a bold lead performance from plus-sized actress Laura Galán, who plays Sarah, the butcher's daughter and village outcast. After having her clothes stolen while swimming, Sarah crosses paths with a serial killer who has just abducted the gals who have been bullying her incessantly. Turns out the killer has a soft spot for the outcast, and a bizarre romance forms between the two. As the hunt for the missing girls intensifies, so does the relationship between Sarah and the killer. Part mystery, part Mean Girls, part twisted romance, PIGGY is a strange yet intriguing film. It begins by putting you in the shoes of the protagonist and witnessing the incessant torment she has endured. While there are terrifying things to come, this for me was the most horrifying part for me to watch. Seeing what these girls put Sarah through is simply inhumane, so you understand the hesitation Sarah has when she sees them about to get their comeuppance. Galán delivers a monumental performance as Sarah. It's bold and utterly brave. I know I wouldn't have the guts to appear in a bathing suit on camera, and that's some of the least embarrassing moments of the film. She's just a powerhouse here, communicating volumes with very little dialogue, but when she does speak and act, it's concussive. But after the first segment, where we are put through Sarah's emotional ringer, it turns into a suspense story/love story. It would be quite a leap for Sarah to fall for the killer, but it all works. Once we get to know Sarah's plight, we understand why she might develop feelings for this first person to show her kindness. It's a falling into love story, kind of like a descent into madness story. Writer, director Carlota Pereda makes every step understandable. But of course, this leads to a crisis of conscience for Sarah, who, unlike the killer, seems to know right from wrong. Sarah has to choose between the one guy who doesn't treat her badly, who happens to be a ruthless killer, or saving the girls who bully her. The answer is not as easy as it seems. It's a complex conundrum brought to light excellently. I found PIGGY to be genuinely unpredictable, emotionally complex, and Laura Galán kicks ass as the unconventional lead. The film doesn't shy away from the action, intrigue, and moral and psychological complexity dealing with social anxieties and societal norms in terms of what is beauty. The film also gets quite gory in the end, making PIGGY a slam-bang knockout of a film with a little bit of everything for everyone. I highly recommend this shining indie gem from Spain. Missing the main countdown by a skosh, but worth noting, is the Austrian film Family Dinner. Family Dinner was released on April 7th, 2023. It is new streaming on Screambox. It's directed and written by Peter Hengl. Simi, played by Nina Caitlin, visits her estranged Aunt Claudia, played by Pia Hirziger, a week before Easter. Knowing her aunt is a published diet and cooking expert, Simi hopes Claudia can help with her weight issues. At first, Claudia says she doesn't have the time to help Simi as she has a very special Easter dinner planned. But soon Claudia warms up to Simi, recognizing her conviction to lose weight, and prepares a very special diet regimen for her. Simi is not to eat a morsel of food for 7 days and accompany Claudia and her new husband, Stefan, played by Michael Pink, in fasting before the big meal on Easter Sunday. Simi agrees to consume nothing but water for this time, while Claudia prepares decadent meals for her only son, Philip, played by Alexander Sladek, to eat. But soon Simi begins to suspect something is wrong with this seemingly perfect family, or is that just her hunger talking? Reminiscent of another horror film released about a young girl's self-conscious about her plus-sized body called PIGGY, Family Dinner offers up a star-making role from its lead, Nina Caitlin. Caitlin is wonderfully brave to play this role, which exploits her weight to show how it can affect a young woman as she is becoming an adult. It's an intimate look at issues that are becoming very controversial to talk about these days, for fear of fat-shaming accusations. But Caitlin presents Simi as convicted to become healthier and slimmer without making her feel like someone who is put upon. Yes, there are those in this film that make fun of her because of her weight, but at the same time, Simi has some very powerful lines owning who she is. There's even a line about how Simi should like the size she is, but Caitlin quickly shuts that down, telling the person not to tell her how she should feel about her own body. This was an incredibly strong character beat that occurs late in the movie, but it made me like this already likable and determined character all the more. While where this is all going is quite predictable, writer-director Peter Hengl shows amazing patience in revealing his final hand during the climax. He structures the film by ominously counting up the days of the week leading to Easter Sunday, making each day more physically and mentally arduous for Simi as the week goes on. This film relies on that suspense selling itself, as there is an awful lot of time spent leading up to what some might call a punchline ending. But because Simi was such a wonderful character to follow, it made the journey worthwhile, seeing her go back and forth, wondering if she should trust her Aunt Claudia and her son Philip, who both seem to be having a silent war beneath surface pleasantries. It's all building to something, and with this being a horror film, you know the other shoe is going to drop during the climax, but the slow pace is going to kill some interest for some who watch Family Dinner. It's a subtle film. Not bombastic and noisy, it's quiet, slowly ratcheting towards something terrible, and I feel the big payoff works. There are horrific moments all the way through, but they just aren't the over-the-top stuff mainstream horror fans might be used to. These chills are psychologically bent, and you just don't know who to believe pretty much the entire way through. The final moments are harrowing, and while I sort of knew what was coming, some of the imagery will definitely leave a scar for those with a weak constitution. I understand this Austrian thriller is not going to be for everyone, but the strong character work in Family Dinner made me look past the slow pace and predictability, ending with a meal that's going to be very tough to forget.
As always, feel free to agree, disagree, or give me your own picks for your favorite horror movies. It's October, so let's talk horror. Come back tomorrow for the next level in the Best in Horror Countdown. Be sure to hit all of the pertinent bells and whistles down below, and you'll never miss a post. Happy Halloween, folks.